people are talking about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. They must zoom out. This is not an Israeli-Palestinian conflict. We are talking about the Western world fighting against terror. It's not a coincidence that the Hamas opened that terrible terror attacks on Israel exactly 10 days ago, when the Saudis was ready to sign historical peace process with Israel that will change the Middle East. Look what's happening in the Middle East with the Gulf countries, with UAE, with Egypt, with Jordan. There is a prosperity, there is a new way of living next to each other's, focusing on building companies, focusing on innovation, focusing on technology. The reason that this war started is someone is feel uncomfortable having peace in the Middle East, and it's connect to China, and it's connect to Russia, and of course, it's connect to Iran.
So it's complicated, as we talked earlier, with someone who fought for the U.S. Marine Corps, has done several duties at a very, very high level. It's complicated because there are so many moving parts, if you will, ultimately. Do you see a way forward that, though, ultimately, where, I don't want to say capitalism, but a better economic way for more actually wins out?
There is no any other way around. Israel is not going anywhere, and the Palestinian is not going anywhere. We must find a way to live in peace next to each other. And there is zero chance that that's will happening while a radical terror organization like Hamas controlling Gaza, because they say, actually on their foundation, that their mission in the world is to wipe Jews and Israelis from the map. That's the only thing they believe in: death. You cannot do business with people that wants you to die. But from a fundamental point of view, I love the Palestinians and have a lot of Palestinians friends. And we want to live next to each other in peace, focusing on building the next technology that will cure cancer. As someone that served and saw the pain of war, there is nobody more incentive than I to go and fight against those terror organizations to make sure that we can go and focusing on prosperity rather than fighting.
You served in the special forces for the Israeli military. We see many, many people going back to Israel to serve once again, as hundreds of thousands have been called up. Have you been called up? Are you going back?
Unfortunately, I don't have the clearance that it's required anymore to serve for my country, because I live in the United States for more than a decade. All of my friends wants me to be here right now, to focusing and explaining the world that this is not a war between the Israeli and the Palestinian. This is a war between democracy and a radical world, a radical that don't believe in freedom of speech, that don't believe in freedom of religion, and don't believe in prosperity and building businesses. So unfortunately, I need to serve my country from Palo Alto right now.
So talk to us, though. I thought, Lior, what was interesting, because I do think that many think it is a war between Israel and Hamas. But I think there's a feeling, too, of conflict between Israel and Palestine, or Palestinians. You say you work with them. Talk to us about, in your role as a founder of Eclipse Ventures, I'm assuming you're investing in all kinds of businesses. Talk to us a little bit about that relationship that you are having with Palestinians.
Yeah, let me give you a sad story. I have a close friend. His name is Eyal Waldman, and he was the founder of a company called Mellanox that sold in a couple of billions of dollars to NVIDIA. Eyal was the first one to establish an R&D centers in the West Bank as well in Gaza, software engineers to support Mellanox. And trust me, he didn't receive a lot of love from the right wings in Israel by doing that. And he employed thousands of people in the West Bank and Gaza that will do software development for him. Because like me, he believed that the only way to fight terror is through business and through friendship. Eyal's daughter was one of those kids that being slaughtered in that music festival 10 days ago. So how ironic is that his daughter that was 23 years old, dancing in a music festival, got slaughtered by Hamas terror, while Eyal is the one that employed thousands of people on the Palestinian side.
There's no words. There's absolutely no words. And I guess what I wonder too is, we think about this a lot, Lior, that we think finding an economic way out of things or capitalism ultimately will prevail and lead it to a better way for everyone. What is I guess what we're just trying to figure out, that there's been conflict in this region, in this area in particular, for such a long time. So I hear what you say. So how do we get the way forward, especially when you still do have terrorists who are out there like Hamas?
I think it's a great example of me traveling to the UAE 10 times this year and doing amazing business and watching His Highness leadership. It's a great example of how you win terror. But which prosperity there is in Lebanon? Is Hezbollah is there to free the Lebanese? Is Hamas is there to free the Palestinians? Is ISIS is there to free the Syrian people? Is Al-Qaeda was there to free Afghanistan? We all in the Western world needs to fight terror so our kids can have a future. And I want my kids to have a future next to my Palestinians neighbors. There is no any other way around, and I will never stop fighting for it.
Are you worried about a potential ground invasion of Gaza? After all, it's been days since Israel warned people in northern Gaza to move to southern Gaza.
And do you think it's wrong, considering what you just said about Palestinians?
I'm sorry and sad about the situation that is happening there. But you need to understand that Israel is not going to sit aside and let the whole west of the country having 1,300 kids and women that have been slaughtered in one day and more than 150 people kidnapped, most of them civilians, some of them babies on the age of 3 months. Israel cannot continue have the Hamas sitting in the south part of Israel, shooting rockets when they feel comfortable with. Which prosperity happened in Gaza? Israel is out of Gaza from 2005. Which prosperity? Which startup is being built there? Which infrastructure? Which great innovation is happening there? Nothing can be born when there is a radical terror organization control your country. And unfortunately, more people are going to lose their life, both sides, because of that organization.